Shoot your arrows! Cooper Kupp plucks it out of the air and gives the Rams the lead. Robert Woods, touchdown! LA! Ball goes crashing into the end zone. Aaron Donald almost beat the football there. Corey Littleton, have yourself a day. Picked off. Marcus Peters coming off the edge, and Ryan will be wrapped up by Clay Matthews. Everett in stride! Wow!
Franklin Myers gets his hand down there.
Weddle got a hand on it. Did he pick it? He did!
Racing down the sideline is Akeem Talib. Gurley for MVP! Touchdown LA!
Picked off by John Johnson. Well, it's Dante Fowler who is able to get to breathe.
Greg Zuerlein sends the Rams to the Super Bowl! LA will play for the Lombardi!
Welcome back, guys, to another Downtown Rams podcast. It's episode 284. I'm your host, Jake Ellenbogen. Joining me, as always, is Alexis Kraft, and we are here to bring you two draft interviews for our draft season podcast edition. We have two interviews, Maryland cornerback Tino Ellis and Baylor defensive lineman Bravvion Ray. We hope you guys enjoy, and as always, if you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. Enjoy the show. All right, guys, joining the podcast, we have Maryland cornerback Tino Ellis. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
I'm doing well, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We're excited to talk to you, and just to start this off, we just want to hear a little bit about how you got into the game of football.
I've been playing football since at the age of 5. It's been a love of mine and a passion of mine ever since I picked up a football. You know, my dad brought me into the game, and he always coached me and things like that, so that's how I got into the game of football.
Yeah, and Tino, you started off as a receiver and converted to cornerback. What made you decide to make that decision?
Well, at first, I was playing both ways my freshman year, and then I just wanted to decide I felt like it was a better fit for me overall, for me to play cornerback. And just learning two playbooks at the time was very difficult for me, so I decided just to play defense and just focus on that and get better at that.
Yeah, and, growing up playing football, did you have a favorite NFL player or maybe a couple favorite NFL players?
I had a lot of football players that I liked, such as Ed Reed, Michael Vick, and Ray Lewis.
And, talking about you now being a cornerback, is there anyone in particular you're modeling your game after?
I watch film of guys such as like Jalen Ramsey and Patrick Peterson. I'm huge of Patrick Peterson and some of his techniques and how he plays the game.
Yeah, definitely. Great pick in him and Jalen Ramsey, who's someone that Jake and I are pretty familiar with. But obviously talk about you playing growing up. But when was it that you knew that you wanted to play the game of football for a living?
I actually learned that I'll say my freshman year in high school at the Master. I felt very comfortable in my talent and where I was headed. So that's when I really decided to really take this thing serious and push it.
Yeah. Now you go to Maryland, out of high school. What made you choose Maryland to play your football?
What made me choose Maryland just the great education that they have there and the reputation, and guys such as Stephon Diggs that went there and did it from home. That's something I wanted to do as well, to stay home and play in front of my family and friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, just looking back at your time at Maryland, do you have a favorite memory or maybe a couple memories from your time playing college football?
One of my favorite memories is actually my freshman year and my first career start. It was on my 19th birthday, which was very special for me. And I had one of my best games there my freshman year against Minnesota. So it was a huge experience for me to get that first start.
And playing at Maryland, you obviously went up against a lot of tough competition. Is there a guy that really stands out as the toughest guy you faced in college?
The toughest guy I ever faced in college was, I would say, Paris Campbell from Ohio State. That guy was very electric at the time there at Ohio State. All those Ohio State receivers, actually, Terry McLaughlin and all those guys, it was a really talented group they had there. Benjamin Victor, there's a couple guys I can keep on naming that was at Ohio State that was very good.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely tough competition. And then, like we touched on, you also played with a lot of really talented players as well. How did playing at Maryland help you prepare for football at the next level?
Playing at Maryland helped me prepare by just being around those guys and picking up on the habits and behaviors they showed me, such as J.C. Jackson, Darnell Savage, and William Likely. They helped me, develop great habits on and off the field.
And now, Tino, just talking about you as a player, what would you say is your biggest strength?
My biggest strength, I would say, is I'm physical off the line. I'm a hard worker. I'm dedicated to the game, and whatever it takes for me to get, better, I'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. And, just as the draft is approaching, is there anything that you're looking to improve on?
Actually, everything. I want to get bigger, stronger, and faster. Pick up more knowledge about the game and what it takes to stay at the next level at that.
And, this is something I like to ask, and you might just have, the answer, not you just want to play in the NFL and may not really care what kind of scheme. But I always ask, is there a scheme that you would like to play in more than, say, another at the next level?
Actually, I feel like I could play in any scheme, but if I was really wanted to play in a scheme, I would prefer a man scheme because I feel like that's one of my strong suits is playing man.
Yeah, and then this next question is just a fun question that we like to ask different defensive backs that come on the show. But if you had to pick one quarterback in the NFL to pick off, who would that be?
It got to be the GOAT, Tom Brady. That would just be a dream of mine. I was a big fan of Tom's, ever since I was little. So to be able to pick him off, that would be just a dream come true. That would be amazing. I'll definitely say the game ball.
Would you have him sign it?
I probably another. I give 4 years or 2 years or something. I wouldn't sign it right at the game. I wouldn't tell him right at the game to sign it though.
Yeah, he is by far the most popular answer that we get. I would say
I bet
90.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, 90% of and maybe rightfully so, but it is Tom Brady. So, but it's a good answer nonetheless.
Yeah, and being a Rams podcast, I do have to ask you, Tino, have you met or spoken with the Los Angeles Rams yet?
No, I haven't yet, but I'm looking forward for the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And, Jake and I are obviously big Rams fans and fans of you, so it would be really awesome for us to see you end up with the Rams, but no matter where you go, we're going to be cheering you on. But, in closing, we just kind of want to hear in your own words, who is Tino Ellis as a person and who is he as a player?
Tino Ellis as a person is a man with great character, stand-up guy, a hard worker. And Tino Ellis as a player is just the same, a hard worker, dedicated to the game and have a passion for it and helping others and being a guy that's great for the locker room. That's what I would say.
Well, I'd say that's a great answer, and I'd say that, you're definitely going to help out whatever NFL team, grabs you. But, hey, man, stay safe, your family, everyone that's close to you. I wish them well. Hopefully, the storm kind of passes here, with the coronavirus, but just, keep working, stay healthy, and, good luck with the rest of the way, man.
I will. Thanks for having me. You too, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, guys, joining the podcast, we have Baylor defensive lineman Bravvion Ray. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
It's going good, just weathering the storm right now with all this going on.
Yeah, I definitely hear you there. It's been unprecedented for you, and can only imagine what it's like being an NFL draft prospect during this time. Again, unprecedented. I understand that, a lot of prospects are having to leave their training facilities. Everything's closing down. Gyms are closing down. I guess we'll just we'll start with that since this is a little different here. What have you been doing lately to kind of still get your work in, but obviously kind of dodge the storm here?
Actually, our workout facility just closed down today, so today was obviously my last day at XOs, and now with my team and my agents and everybody, we're just trying to see what's next and just create a new plan.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all you can do. Really sorry about that. Can only imagine. But we'll get into you now. Just wanted to kind of touch base on that a little bit. Since the coronavirus is pretty much the hot topic around the country, and rightfully so. But Bravvion, when did you start playing football?
I started in 2004, 2005. I was around 6 or 7. And I just stuck with it ever since. I played every year ever since, never missed a year. And that's just how I got into everything.
Yeah, and, growing up, did you have a favorite NFL player?
My favorite player was always Ray Lewis growing up. Ray Lewis and Michael Vick. Those are guys that I just, love watching. Definitely Ray Lewis, just an inspiration and a motivational speaker. And just inspiration on the field. And just Michael Vick, he was just electrifying to me. I mean, I just love watching him play.
Yeah, I definitely can't blame you there. Two absolute stars in their respective era. Is there a defensive lineman in particular that maybe you modeled your game after, or kind of took pieces of your game or their game and put it into yours?
I'm always trying to mirror Aaron Donald, and this offseason I got an opportunity to train with him and just to see how he trained. And how what type of level he's on. And, yeah, I'm just basically right now just, looking at Aaron Donald and trying to just compare my game to his, just knowing I'm bigger than him and just trying to work my way to where he's at right now.
Yeah, and this being a Rams podcast, obviously love to hear that you've, worked out with Aaron Donald, who is the best player in the National Football League. So, big props there.
Yep.
So when did you know you wanted to play this game of football, and when did you know you wanted to play it for a living?
Probably middle school. Middle school, I really started taking it serious and just kept taking the next step, all the way to high school, getting offers and stuff like that, and I knew I could do something with it. I mean, it's just a love for the game. I mean, I love what I do. I've been taking it serious and looking at it as a job since high school. So I think that's just a plus for me, and that's just something that I'm continuing to do.
And, obviously you go from high school and, taking it seriously and like you said, looking at it as a job to playing at Baylor. What made you choose the Baylor Bears to play your collegiate football?
I mean, they offered me my freshman year, Coach Browse and those guys. And it just felt like family-oriented thing. So they stuck with me my freshman year all the way through my senior year of high school. And I just rolled with them. I took one visit, and that was it. And I just rolled up there.
Yeah, and, what would you say is your favorite memory from, playing there?
Definitely when Coach Rule and those guys got there and just having the season we had last year. I mean, having a chance to play in the Big 12 championship and, if we won that, we'd make it to the playoffs and stuff like that. It was just a fun ride last year with those guys, and it was truly a blessing.
Now, you mentioned, playing in the Big 12, and that is one of the best conferences. I think in some cases it almost gets underrated because of, the SEC love. With that being said, who was the toughest guy you went up against in college?
I would say probably Creed Humphreys from Oklahoma. I mean, he was probably the toughest guy that I went against. Him, for sure, him.
Yeah, I always like that question because you really get a feel. You guys play all these different teams. It's not just the Big 12, so playing and being Baylor and being able to play in, big-time bowl games as well. It's always funny to interview somebody and have them go right to the person that's clearly the toughest. So I like that question.
Yeah.
With that being said, how did playing at Baylor, how would you say it prepared you for the next level?
I mean, definitely with Coach Rule and those guys, they prepared us for the next step every time. Like, it was just like his thing was to get everybody, the most people he can, to the next level. And, like, he shows you how it was going to be at the next level. And, like, from fines to all kind of stuff like that, like, he prepares you for those moments. And, like, that was the biggest thing that he taught us over there at Baylor. I mean, it just wasn't about football. It was about the type of man you are outside of football. And I just appreciate everything he did, and it just prepared us for what's coming next.
Yeah, I've only heard amazing things out of Coach Rule. Going back to his time at Temple, and he just seems like a real program changer. And obviously he moves on to the NFL, and now he's going to be head coach of the Panthers. Did you see that coming? By the way, did you see him taking that job?
I didn't think he was going to take the Panthers job. I thought he was going to be with the Giants, but he let the team know. He let us know, like, before the bowl game. The rumors was already spreading, and like he told us straight up, the numbers right. I mean, it's something he got to look into. I mean, for his career. I mean, every coach's goal is to coach in the NFL, so that's his dream. And I mean, why not go do it? I mean, that's just it is what it is. You just gotta make the best choice for him and his family.
Completely agree. Looking at going back to you, what would you say is your biggest strength, Bravvion, as a player?
Just my agility and speed and strength, and just my quickness off the ball and me overpowering people. I mean, I can say a lot of strengths and weaknesses. I mean, but those are the key things.
Is there one thing in particular you're looking to improve on as we, move forward with this pre-draft process?
Most definitely my pad level. That's probably the biggest thing.
And is there a scheme that you would like to play in more than, say, others at the next level?
I mean, my freshman to my junior year, I was in the 4-3. My senior year, we switched to 3-4, and I dominated a 3-4. So if it was a 3-4, that'll be fine, but I can play in a 4-3. So either or. But I feel like I'll be most effective in the 3-4 if that's what people want me to push the pocket and just to stop the run. But I can be dominant in both.
And, looking at – this is kind of a fun question here. Looking at all the quarterbacks in the NFL, if you could sack one of them, who would it be?
Ooh, right now?
Yeah, right now.
Right now. Probably Lamar Jackson or Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's definitely those are actually both Lamar Jackson's starting to trend lately. We've been interviewing prospects for 3 years now, and I feel like Tom Brady's always said, but obviously Lamar Jackson with his speed, I mean, you'd have some bragging rights there if you were able to kind of trip him up.
For sure, most definitely.
Yeah, so last two questions here. We're a Rams podcast, so I have to ask, have you met or spoken with the Los Angeles Rams yet?
To tell you the truth, I cannot remember. I met with so many teams during East-West round. I met with probably 15 or 20 teams, and I really cannot remember if I met with the Rams or not.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I go to the Senior Bowl every year, so I see exactly what you guys go through. Getting media thrown in your face, and then having coaches, and it can be a lot, and even fans. You mentioned the East-West Shrine game, so I do want to ask you a quick question on that. What was your overall experience and the biggest takeaway from your time at the East-West Shrine game?
I mean, it was great. I mean, it was very time-consuming, but it was a great experience. I mean, to the interviews, to the practices, and just dominating the practices. It was fun meeting new guys from all over and just getting to know those guys. I mean, it was a great experience.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's cool with these college all-star games. Obviously you played at Baylor, so you have plenty of exposure, being in the Big 12, but just in general, to be able to get out there and play in front, with your peers and in front of the fans, really cool stuff. But last thing here, who is Bravvion Ray as a person, and who is he as a player? As
a person, I'm just a very chill guy. I mean, homebody. more of an old school type of dude, but just young. That's how I look at it. As a player, just a dog. That's how I look at it, just a straight dog. Do whatever it takes to win.
Seems to me like you just flip that switch when you're on the field.
Yes, sir.
That's the way to be. Hey, Bravvion, really appreciate it, man. Good luck the rest of the way, obviously with the draft, but man, there are things bigger than football right now. So you and your family, I wish you guys health and all the best. Let's keep in touch, and again, good luck with everything.
Likewise. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care.
You too.